that I could see in our world is what Stephen Karpman uh, came up with in the 1960s. And he introduced this cycle that the enemy has gotten us to buy into as truth. And almost we've brought it into the church as religion. And the cycle was never meant to be moral. It was meant to help you see what healthy relationships look like and unhealthy relationships. In fact, his only reason for discovering it was to help people out of dysfunction, not to leave people in it. And so these roles that Stephen Karpman decided, it's called the drama triangle. And this system is a system that prevents growth, responsibility, or healing. It's in psychology, and the triangle is a warning label, not a moral framework. But we've brought this into the church as a moral framework, and the enemy has brought this. And this is, to me, a part of what Paul is talking about, just one of them. We can have one of these each week till Jesus comes back, but it's just one of the breaths of wind, the teachings that's moving us but not moving us forward. And listen, you can, if this is your God, then you will hate what I'm talking about. If you don't have a biblical worldview, you will think this is a kingdom worldview. But this pattern is nowhere in the Bible, right? Us becoming these parts of the triangle, the victim. Some of us, or all of us, we've all been given opportunity to sit in this chair. Because from the moment you were born, man, that doctor slapped you in the butt and you screamed. What was the doctor doing? Making sure you're alive. But he's also saying, welcome to the earth. What a greeting. I mean, give me a cake or give me some milk or something, but here's how you welcome into the earth. Make sure you're alive. We make sure you're alive, but just finding out, can you cry a lot? Can you scream? Because that's the rest of the ride. You're going to go through pain. You're going to go through hurt. In fact, the Bible never promises you that you won't. It actually says, take heart because, the world's rough. You're going to have a lot of pain, but take heart because I've overcome the world. They're going to call you names. They're going to slander your name. They're going to tell half-truths and whole lies. They're going to meet you in the comments with no retribution, except for a hidden account that no one knows who it is. They don't have one, they got 50. You were born into probably a broken family with parents that were learning, and they learned well. They learned from their dad's dad how to lead the wrong way. They learned from their addictions and their traps and so we've all had the ability to sit in this chair. The wound. And often in this chair, the wound is so loud that I can no longer hear the word. So maybe you're in this room right now and the wound is yelling at you while I'm preaching. My prayer is that the enemy would be a liar and God would make every word of his word come true today to you. And you would stop being blown wrong by the winds of teaching, and God would move you forward in maturity out of this chair. Because as long as you sit in this chair, you cannot help others. Because there can only be one of these chairs in every marriage. There can only be one of these chairs in every relationship. When you sit in this chair, you can't share it. Because if you share it, then it's a one-up. Well, my wound's worse than your wound. And so if we don't fit in this chair, we go to the next. The rescuer. The rescuer is just a victim that's never been healed. I'll save you because no one saved me. I'll help you because no one came for me. It's okay. The only problem is To have identity as, see, what the enemy wants you to do is he wants to give you identity in the chair you sit in. He wants to give you identity as the victim. So your pain becomes your authority. Your pain becomes your identity. And so if you let go of your pain, you lose who you are. What a trick of the enemy to get you to sit in pain for the rest of your life. And in our world, pain is power. The loudest pain gets the most applause. The loudest pain gets the most excuses. Whoever has pain, that's who we got to watch out for. We got to be careful around those that have pain. We don't want to cause any more pain. And so you get used to your pain creating your identity. But if you never get healed, you got to move somewhere, because you got to just the devil wants to keep moving you between these chairs. So he moves you to rescuer. And the rescuer rescues the victim because no one rescued them. The problem with being the rescuer is you need the victim to stay the victim. Because without the victim, you no longer have anyone to rescue. So you no longer have an identity. Well, who am I going to rescue? That was my identity. I'm just looking for people to rescue. What am I looking at? I'm looking for more victims. And I need you to stay in this chair. I can't have you get healed. I just have to have you need me. And it sounds moral. This is the seat we want because it sounds moral. It's the best next seat to go to, because I am sure as heck not going to that seat. The oppressor. But did you know that the oppressor also was a victim? A victim who said, I'm never going to get hurt again. I'm never going to allow anyone to wound me again. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get enough power so I can control every outcome. I'm going to control everyone around me so they don't hurt me again. Why? Because I was never healed. No one came for me. No rescuer was sent for me. So I'll rescue myself. And you keep people at a distance and you keep them under your thumb, not because you're mean or evil, but because you never got healed. So here we live. And here we believe. Which one are you? It's the drama triangle, but it's not the kingdom triangle. Because everyone can be forgiven. And everyone can be healed. And no one needs to be the savior other than Jesus. This is not the kingdom. This is the enemy's drama triangle. And I'm calling a group of people to say, I'm not living in this triangle anymore. You want to know how you get out of this triangle? Forgiveness. The Bible ends with, here's how you mature. Here's how you get out of the drama triangle. You forgive because he forgave you. Forgiveness pulls you out of the triangle and pulls you into the covering of sonship, where God the Father is covering you. God calls you out under his covering, under his community, under his church, under his banner of love. And no matter if it's raining out here, it's warm in here.